Alright, impromptu video. You know why I do these, is because I see something that is so disgusting. I have to say something. Alright, girls volleyball team locked out of their own dressing room because there was a trans confused boy in there, and they did not want to have to shower naked in front of this boy. These are teenage girls now. These are teenage girls as far as I understand it. I don't think this was college. I think this was high school. These are children. The teen years are hard enough. But because they voiced their concerns and their discomfort with this situation, it actually goes against school policy. The school policy says something about they are to be allowed privacy in their locker rooms, and yet they have stuck this boy in there. Yes, it's a boy. I don't care what you do to the anatomy, what clothes you wear, how much nail polish you put on, how much makeup you put on. Your DNA says you're male. You'll always be male. Suck it up, deal with it. But because these girls expressed their displeasure and horror at this boy in their dressing room, mind you, this is an entire girls team and one boy with a mental disorder. Yes, it's a mental disorder, so don't come after me with that about that crap. They are being investigated for bullying because they said, we don't want to shower with this guy. I could solve this entire thing, but it would require children having to be the adults in the situation, and that shouldn't have to be. Parents should be protecting their children, but parents are not protecting their children. Because one parent is foisting their child, their mentally disturbed child, on everybody else. These girls are now having to suffer. I could fix this whole thing in women's sports and high school sports, college sports. The girls have to refuse to compete, period. The girls have to stand in solidarity and just simply refuse to compete and say, we are not going to compete against a man, a biological male. We will not do that. This is not fair to us. This is discriminatory against us. We will not compete. We're not changing everything for one person who has a problem. We will not compete because it's not a true competition. Men are physiologically different than women. God, why don't we know this? Why am I having to tell you this? Why are people not understanding this? Their upper body strength will always be more. Their core is different. Everything about their body structure is different. Which is why Michelle Obama, Big Mike, never looked like a woman. Their body structure, their shoulders, everything is different about a man. When you're asking women to compete, what you're asking them to do is get up there and make a big show of trying to win against a man. I don't know, this society has gone from protecting women and children and revering women and children and trying to take care of children to throwing them all to the wolves. Oh, you're all about protecting women's rights when it comes to her wanting to slaughter a child that she doesn't want to give birth to. You're all about that. But when it comes to children, teenage girls who rightfully don't want to shower naked in front of a boy in there with them and don't want to be forced to do that, all of a sudden they're the problem? No, they're not the problem. The school system's the problem. The parents of the boy are the problem. The parents of the girls who won't stand up for their girls, they're the problems. Girls are going to have to stand up and say, we're just going to stand back here. We're not going to dress out. We're not going to change up. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to stand by. He can compete with himself because we're not doing it. And, you know, I know they're scared. It requires them to if they're thinking about college and competition and scholarships and everything, it requires maybe a sacrifice. But if they don't, this is going to continue. Are you going to an alcoholic comes to your house, are you going to serve them alcohol knowing that they're an alcoholic? Are you going to enable that? Why would you enable this? This requires children who shouldn't have to be the adults in the situation to be the adults in the situation. This requires all the girls to stand in solidarity and say, we're not doing it. We're not competing against this man. And they have to stay strong and they have to stand together. If the parents won't do it for them, the girls have got to do it. Women have got to do it and say, we refuse to compete. We're not doing it. We're not going to be forced to do it. They can all compete against themselves. We're not doing it. We're not swimming against them. We're not running against them. We're not doing anything against these men. They can't even call it women's sports anymore. At this point, it's become the Special Olympics, and I hate to say it like that, but special in the fact that this up here is just missing. It's all confused and discombobulated. I don't even know what to say about the situation. It makes me so angry that the parents are not they're not intervening for their daughters. They're not standing up. If this is high school and college, they're not intervening for their children. Why not? You're letting one person, enabling one person to ruin and screw up the mental health of everybody else in the building. That's exactly where it's coming to. And I just love the hypocrisy. Hypocrisy needs to be terminal. Oh, we're standing up for women's rights. If a woman says she was molested, then you've got to always believe her, even though women do lie. I mean, they're human beings, right? Well, women lie, especially today's women, today's anybody, because there's no such thing as ethics and morality, and you lie. It's a lie of opportunity. If it'll get you what you want, you tell a lie. You see, political campaigns are all about that. You almost have to have a private investigator to go research the political ads, the claims in the political ads, because it used to be that they would stand up there and they would say, my opponent is, my worthy opponent, we have a different stand on this and this and this and this, but they don't do that anymore. Now they go after them personally, even though the people going after them are just as guilty as they are of doing the same things. It's like strike first, strike hard, no mercy. It's kind of like that in political campaigns. And, you almost have to decipher, what are they saying and what are they not saying? How are they using words in a tricky manner? So you don't even know. You can't even follow any of these campaigns. I mean, it's insane. Boggles the mind because they just lie because they can. No morals, no ethics. This world has gotten to be so upside down and backwards. And when you are not protecting your children, and when you're making your children stand up for themselves, yes, it's good to teach them to do that. But of course, these are teenage girls. They're going to think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble. Of course, that's the way they think. These girls are athletes. They're competitors. They don't want to get in trouble. They follow rules. But you know what? Some rules need to be tossed in the trash. And this woke garbage has got to go. This is hurting everybody. This is hurting women. It's hurting actual men. It's hurting everyone. I'm over this crap. Girls, that's my solution. Refuse to compete. Stand in solidarity. Stand back and say, I'm not competing against a man. You want a team? Get rid of him. Make him go to his own team. Make him go to the appropriate team. I don't care what he looks like. He's still got male DNA. Make him go to the boys' locker room. That's where he belongs. He's male. I don't care if he looks girly. He's still a man. Make him go to the boys' locker room. That's where he needs to be. But see, girls are they're more easily victimized. An effeminate boy in the boys' locker room is more likely to get beat up. But you can foist them on the girls all day long, and you think that they have to bow to this garbage. That's my solution to that. Women, girls in women's sports, refuse to compete. Just simply refuse. The entire team, stand down, refuse to compete. This mess will end very quickly if you do. So that was my thought for the day. And I'm going to keep it that one subject. Talk to y'all later. Bye.